Hey, what's up, everybody? Tommy Meyer here. So this was taped shortly before the House voted to strip Marjorie Taylor Greene of her committee assignments. So if I sound like I'm a little bit behind the times, that's because I am. But enjoy anyway. Hey, what's up, everybody? Tommy Meyer here, and welcome to Tommy Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, last week was perhaps the stupidest week of news that we have ever had. And that's saying a lot, since this guy is no longer president. How stupid, you ask? Jewish space laser stupid. But we'll get to that in a second. There were really three stupid stories dominating the news last week, and they actually span the political spectrum. It's not quite what Biden meant when he said he wanted to unify the country, but it's a start. It's a start. Baby steps. The first story we're going to talk about is about GameStop. Yes, that GameStop, the one in the mall that offered you $1.50 for a perfectly good copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, even though you bought it from them for $50 like 3 years ago. I mean, how can it only be worth $1.50 now? I'm sure plenty of people still have PS2. It was a great system. Sorry. The reason GameStop was in the news is because upon that's I've been holding that in for a while. The reason GameStop was in the news is because a bunch of people on the Reddit board, Wall Street Bets, started buying stock in GameStop. You see, GameStop was one of the most heavily bet against stocks. Hedge funds were doing what's called shorting the stock. They basically were betting that the price would go down or that the company would fail. And that seems like a pretty safe bet, being that GameStop's entire business model is, hey, maybe someone will see us while they're waiting for Cinnabon. But as the Redditors started buying stocks and the price went up, hedge funds had to cover their shorts and cut their losses, which just made the price go up further. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, I have no idea what I just said either, so don't worry about it. All you need to know is that at one point the stock price was up by 14,300%. At the beginning of January, GameStop shares were worth about $17 or $18. It peaked last week at $500. Though GameStop will buy it back from you for $1.50. Seriously, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, biggest open world game of its time, okay? Sorry. When all was said and done, the hedge funds had lost a combined $19 billion. Damn. Now, in case you're thinking, man, I gotta get in on this, don't. Because the stock's come back down to earth. In fact, it's plunged down to about $53.50. In fact, now might be a pretty good time to short the stock. Just saying. Now, technically, this is like market manipulation, which is something that I'm against, and people who maybe can't afford it are going to lose some money. So I'm against this, but also it's kind of awesome. I mean, I feel the same way about this that I feel when I see somebody punch a Nazi. Like, I don't condone violence, but that was one hell of a right hook. That's my left hand. That's the right hook. Anyway, the other big stupid story of the week has to do with Jewish space lasers. Now, I know what you're thinking. No, that is not the name of a game sold by GameStop's biggest competitor, GameStop. Even they'll give me $3 for it. It's not anti-Semitic. I'm saying the stereotype is not true. Now, the story has to do with QAnon Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who apparently, in a Facebook post in 2018, blamed the California wildfires on a Jewish space laser. Come to think of it, there was something a little suspicious about that star. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. Well, not so fast, because we here at Tommy Tonight have actually obtained video that we believe is of the actual planning of that laser. Now, we haven't been able to confirm the authenticity of the video, but we're going to show it to you anyway because we have no journalistic integrity. Here it is.
Here's my second plan. Back in the 60s, I developed a weather-changing machine, which was in essence a sophisticated heat beam, which we called a laser. Using these lasers, we punch a hole in the protective layer around the world, which we call the ozone layer. Slowly but surely, ultraviolet rays would pour in, increasing the risk of skin cancer that is, unless the world pays us a hefty ransom.
Oh my God! I didn't know Dr. Evil was Jewish. So, let me try and unpack exactly what Ms. Taylor Greene's claim was. See, it seems that she thinks that a company called Solarin, which makes space solar generators that beam energy back to a receiver on Earth. It seems that she thinks that they teamed up with former Governor Jerry Brown, with a Jewish investment firm, and with PG&E, a California utility company, to shoot a laser to purposefully but also accidentally burn down an area of forest to make way for a high-speed rail in California that was being built by Diane Feinstein's husband for some reason. And they would have gotten away with it, too, if any of that was true. But it's not. None of it is. First of all, Solarin hasn't launched their space satellite yet. They have a launch date of 2025. Second, the satellite doesn't use lasers to beam back energy. They use radio frequencies. Radio waves are obviously completely harmless. Well, mostly harmless. Mostly harmless. By the way, she was also wrong that the area that the wildfires burned was the same as the high-speed rail, the area the high-speed rail was planned, as this little graphic shows right here. They really missed. And she was wrong that Diane Feinstein's husband had any involvement in the project. He didn't. So basically, she got every single aspect of the story wrong. Okay, so she's stupid. So what? Right? I'm sure we've had stupid people in Congress before. It's not like they put her on the education committee or something. What? That's like putting this guy on the marriage fidelity task force. Listen, until we can keep women from aging, I just don't know how we're going to solve this. I say we give up. Now, of course, Jewish space... And by the way, all that is a lie. Jewish space lasers are not the only problematic or insane thing Marjorie Taylor Greene has said. She also said that 9/11 was an inside job, that school shootings were false flags, that Muslims shouldn't be allowed in our government. She endorsed killing Nancy Pelosi with a bullet to the head, which is insane. Everyone knows the best way to kill Nancy Pelosi is just wait. She's very old. Also, not endorsing killing Nancy Pelosi. Just want to make that clear. Also want to make clear that everything that I just said, the stuff about her being, or the stuff about 9/11 being an inside job, school shootings being false, faked, Muslims not being allowed in our government, all that stuff is not true as well. I say this because I got in trouble for a video that I put on YouTube a few weeks ago where I made fun of some of Trump's election claims but didn't outright say that they're not true. So I'm just going to say that in case YouTube is watching, big YouTube brother. There you go. But notice I spent this entire segment without even mentioning QAnon. Because honestly, believing that the government is run by Satan-worshipping pedophiles is probably the least insane thing she believes. It's not run by Satan-worshipping pedophiles. Okay, YouTube? Moving on, though. Finally, cases are on a downward trend here in California, coronavirus cases. And the statewide safer-at-home order has finally been lifted. Businesses like hair salons and restaurants have started opening up, and counties are hard at work figuring out how to get children back to school. Which is why the San Francisco School Board met for 7 hours last week to discuss plans to get the schools open safely. At least, I think that's what they were discussing.
And this is under...
Late Tuesday, the San Francisco School Board voted to change the names of schools that were named after historical figures that critics contend engaged in some way with the enslavement or oppression of others.
Oh, for the love of Christ. That's right. The school board met last week not to discuss how to reopen schools, but to discuss changing the names of the schools. Now, this might not be the best time for that, but okay, fine. Like, what were they named after, like Confederates or like really problematic people?
The district's renaming committee included Abraham Lincoln on the objectionable list because it says the president who ended slavery, quote, did not show that black lives mattered to him, end quote.
Ah, yes. I think we all remember Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, where he said, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all lives matter. Come on, Abe, you can't be saying that stuff, bud, even in 1865. Now, also on that list were people like George Washington, Paul Revere, Diane Feinstein for some reason. First of all, why is a school named after Diane Feinstein? I mean, I have nothing against her. It's just... Really? Look, it takes a lot to get me to decry political correctness. I think most claims of political correctness are overrated, but this just seems a little silly. And also, if you're going to do this, at least do your homework. It seems like even though they met for 7 hours to discuss this, they didn't spend any of that time doing research, as this community activist explains.
As far as we can tell, they didn't open any, biographies on any of these people. And, there are famous historical figures that they literally only considered for a few seconds. Sometimes it looks like they probably got the name wrong, or they got the wrong person.
The committee seemed unsure if Roosevelt Middle School was named after Teddy or FDR. Often the only research listed was a single Wikipedia post.
Really? Wikipedia. You don't even let your students use Wikipedia. This is the same Wikipedia, by the way, that says that the first law of thermodynamics is don't talk about thermodynamics. The same one that said that politician Bryant Newcomb was noted for refusing to use a comb unless it was purchased that day, due to his name. Or is it the Wikipedia that says that the California state motto is fucking hell, why is everything on fire? That last one is actually true. That is our state motto. We just changed it. Guys, you gotta do better than this. You gotta do better than Wikipedia. You're the school board, for God's sakes. You're not a member of Congress. That's all the time I got for you. I'm Tommy Meyer, and I will see you next week. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of my videos by commenting down below. And if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to me on the YouTube or share this with a friend. The possibilities are 3. Good night. Hey, what's up, everybody? Tommy Meyer here, and welcome to Tommy Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, last week was, I think, perhaps the stupidest week of news that we've ever had. And that's saying a lot because this guy... Diane Feinstein. Why not?